What's going on? What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of What the Game Means to Me. It's our See You Sunday edition. Of course, we're going to still talk a little bit of college football, but got to hit on the NFL slate. But of course, before we get into it, got to introduce my co-host, Thaddeus Bill. How you doing today, man?
I'm good, man. Back with another show. I think we've been off for a week or two, but glad to be back and glad to talk some NFL and then sprinkling a little bit of college because this season's been pretty crazy. But just happy to be back on and ready to get to it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Like I said, definitely gonna hit on college first, and got some big games that's coming up at noon that we're going to have to talk fast so we can get off just so we can see kickoff. But yeah, before we get into it, I'm gonna roll the tape.
Here's Michael at the foul line. A shot on Elo. Good! The Bulls win! We win!
Don't you open your mouth about the best. Or you gonna send it for you real quick. LOB.
Listen, we talking about practice. Not a game. We talking about practice.
Lewis gets it to LeBron for three for the win. Yes! LeBron James at the buzzer!
Pass is caught! Diggs! Sideline! Touchdown! Unbelievable! Vikings win it!
What was your mindset when you stepped in the batter's box?
Go yard. I mean, I'm a pitcher. Why not swing as hard as I can? I got nothing to lose.
It's nothing to man above. Don't put you in situations that you can't handle. Instead of saying, why me? They're saying this is what he want me to do. And, Cleveland! This is for you!
The way we approach the game is the same way we approach life. You do the right thing. You make the right play. Make the right play. And in life, it's the same thing. What do you feel in your heart is the right thing to do? And you do that. It seems so simple, but sometimes the simplest things are the hardest things to do. And I think it's just that.
Welcome to
What? The game.
Me.
To me.
All right, we're back, and of course, like I said, gonna hit on your game to watch today. NFL, college, like I said, there's a bunch of college games coming up that we're about to hit on. But just what's your game to watch today, Thad? What you looking forward to this weekend? So we'll make it. What's your game to watch this weekend?
I'm gonna keep it college since it's Saturday, and we're only talking about a little bit of college. I would go Ohio State, Penn State. It's always tough. It's always a tough place to play. I wish they were playing at night instead of noon, but Penn State's pretty good this year. They had one bad loss against Michigan. And Ohio State, I mean, they've been playing a Big Ten schedule, but it seems like they haven't really had a test yet, and I think this will be their first true test. They've been blowing everybody out comfortably. They struggled with Iowa for a little bit, but found their footing early on in the second quarter, early third quarter, and then blew them out. I would go that game. Oklahoma State, Kansas State is always a good game as well. Kansas State is a pretty solid team with Adrian Martinez, a veteran quarterback at the helm, and Spencer Sanders on the other side. But my main game, honestly, Tennessee will win, but Kentucky is a very good team that they had one loss to Ole Miss, and then I think the other came without their starting quarterback, Will Levis. So, who's going to be a first-round pick this year, probably. First, maybe second, but I'm leaning first. So I'll go. That's my pick of the day. Tennessee's high-powered offense against Kentucky's balanced attack. Yeah. And, we've been spoiled this year kind of with college football Saturdays. I think the last couple of weeks have been, as advertised, great games from 12 o'clock to 10 o'clock, ending with the Pac-12 slate with USC playing USC and Utah a couple weeks ago. But it's been a great season, a lot of great teams. We always talk about in the chat 12-team playoff. This is the time. It really is the time. There's going to be a couple teams they're going to be really sad and they're going to be left out of the playoff. But my main game, I would say, Tennessee and Kentucky. But there's always better games. I'm going to be tuned in once we get off to the Ohio State game. And then I'm going to just throw y'all in there because you're my guy. Florida, Georgia. It's in my city, Jacksonville. So, I mean, I'm be tuned in. It's always a great time. I keep telling myself I'm going to go every year, but next year I'm definitely going to go to the tailgate at least. But Georgia and Florida as well. Like I said before the show, Georgia's 7-0. Florida's 4-3. But Georgia hasn't been as dominant. Besides week 1 versus Oregon, they haven't been that dominant. They played Kent State and only won by like 16 points. So I feel like it'll be a game this year. You think that they're going to pull away real early, but I don't know. I think it's going to be a 4-quarter game. I think A-Rich will hopefully throw some TD passes because I don't know. He doesn't like doing that. But
yeah, he'll be throwing TD passes to the other team. That's what be happening. That's why we're in the situation we're in.
No, that's facts. But no, I mean, that's another game. Everybody's going to tune into that. We don't know if it's going to be a game. I think it will, but we'll see. But yeah, that's my couple games to watch for today.
Honestly, yeah, you hit on all the good ones for sure. Like you said, Ohio State, Penn State, definitely going to tune in that one when we get off. Obviously, we got a few Buckeye fans on the network that we probably going to be poking some fun at. But like you said, they just had one bad loss to Michigan. But other than that, they have played a good brand of football, been dominant throughout the year. And like you said, it's probably one of the bigger tests for Ohio State. I know Jeff is hoping that they do damage to him, but I'm hoping just for a good game. I love when it's a good game between those two schools for sure. But yeah, like you said, Georgia, Florida, obviously it's the 3:30 game. CBS, everybody knows last weekend in October what it's about. But this year obviously has a little bit different feel. We got 3 losses. Like you said, it may be a game only because Georgia hasn't looked as dominant in certain wins that they've had, but overall, still think they're obviously the more complete team and on a mission, obviously undefeated, but haven't looked their best. We just haven't looked good at all. Like I said, Anthony Richardson been throwing TDs to the other team. Our defense isn't where it normally is at this time of the year. Like I said, hopefully they keep it close, but I think by second half it's going to be over with, to be honest. And we're going to shoot ourselves in the foot a lot. But outside of that, like you said, the other SEC matchup, Kentucky, Tennessee, definitely looking forward to that. Tennessee obviously has surprised a lot of us this year. Last win, obviously, coming a big win against Alabama. And, they face a Kentucky team that, kind of similar to them in ways. Like you said, high power offense on both sides. So it's going to be a lot of points being scored. So it honestly may come down to last possession, who's going to get a key stop or who's going to have the ball last. So definitely looking forward to that one as well. That's a 7:00 game. But like you said, been spoiled all year with games and just, even the NFL, which we're about to talk about now, like everybody, I was looking last night at the records and everybody's just so middle of the road. Like there's a few teams, really unexpected teams that are at the top of the food chain right now. But everything, like you said, from college all the way to the NFL, just been great football all the way around. From teams we weren't expecting it from, and even from teams that we're expecting to be, this powerhouse, dominant, have shown maybe weaknesses here and there to where, like you said, 12 playoff team, that's got to be put in, I think was supposed to be coming 2024 or something like that.
Couple of years.
Yeah, this would have definitely been the year that I would love to see it, already be put in place. But, it's going to be interesting to see, another month or two to see who's going to be those 4 that's going to get the spot. But, that's that. Like I said, those same games, to watch today. But we're going to be spoiled today for sure, and it's going to be a good weekend overall for football. But next, we're going to kind of move on, hit on NFL a little bit. We did have a few different trades that went down these past few days. Obviously, Tony ended up going to Kansas City. A lot of us expecting big things out of him maybe with a change of scenery, and then Robert Quinn to the Eagles, another big splash move by them. And I hear that there's more coming from them on their side as well. So just new faces and new places. Kadarius Toney, what you think about him going to Kansas City? And do you think he comes in and makes an immediate impact, or it's kind of same old story that he was with the Giants?
I think this is a good trade for the Chiefs. I think they know what they're doing. Obviously, I think it's going to be a good trade. I don't think he's going to impact like immediately, like tomorrow. If he plays or next week, he's not going to have 140 yards because they spread the ball around. They're not going to force feed one person. But Andy Reid does this, man. He takes on guys with slight character issues or problems in the past, rough passes, and he just always finds a way to work it out. Like I'm trying to think of T.O. was always playing. He wouldn't sit out games, but he off the field, he had some little stuff. He didn't get in legal trouble, but just always stuff in the media or complaining during the game. Mike Vick with the dog fighting, he took him on. Help me out if I'm missing some people. Like I just know he's always giving guys. He's the type of person. He's kind of like Jerry Jones.
Yeah.
Like he'll give guys a second chance, or like Greg Hardy with the Cowboys. He used his wife, and then Jerry Jones gave him a chance. Randy Gregory had stuff like. I know they're both not coaches, one's an owner and one's a coach, but Andy Reid's always taking chances on guys he sees that has potential, and I know that they're going to get the best out of him. If anybody's going to, allow him to tap into his full potential, it's going to be Kansas City. And I know Mahomes is excited because when he did play last year, he looked like he looked pretty good. He looked the part. Like, he had me sad. I remember when Urban Meyer came out and said they were going to take him if he was there over Travis Etienne. Right now, that's not looking too good because Travis is looking pretty good. But at the time, I was like, man, Tony, like, when he played last year, he was pretty good. He was explosive. But with KC, man, they're going to have to worry about so many people because Juju's coming around. Hardman had a good game last week. Valdez-Scantlin's a deep threat. They got Scott Moore. They just, like I said, we talked about this. I know I'm not trying to get off subject, but I always thought KC was going to be fine, for one, because they got Mahomes and they have Andy Reid, but and they weren't going to, their offense was just going to, they were going to spread the ball around, but it's just, I don't know, man, they're looking deadly. And Mahomes, like I said, he got used to teams sitting in cover 2 or cover 4, and he's just taking what the defense gives him and taking his timely shots, and they're just looking like a potent offense at the time. But this is going to be a good trade. This is going to turn out pretty good. I don't know when he's going to start playing, but Kadarius Toney will be making big plays for the Chiefs later on down the year and maybe even in the playoffs. But it's kind of crazy, though. He already said he's healthy. So kind of put the Jalen Ramsey on this. My back hurts, but as soon as you get to the Rams,
ready to go.
Good trade, man. Brett Veach, the GM for the Chiefs, they're always making moves. They're not they're never satisfied with where they're at. They just beat the 49ers, even though they only won by 10. I feel like they beat them handily. Like, they're supposed to be a top defense, and they put up, almost 40 on them. So he's always making moves, never satisfied, and I love to see it.
Yeah, I agree for sure. Like I said, even being a Florida Gator, I like the root for Florida Gators. Our last few draft picks haven't panned out the way they're supposed to in the NFL. So, hoping this is another one of those guys. But like you said, last year definitely looked the part when he was playing. Obviously they say he has character issues, all these different things. I feel like you said, under the right people, under the right coaching staff, all that can be fixed and forgotten about, honestly. And he can just focus on going out there and playing ball and helping his team. So definitely think he's in the right situation, in the right group. And he should be able to, like you said, when he is able to suit up, like you said, he's already healthy. Whether it's this week or next week, he should come in and be able to just add another weapon to that offense. Like you said, similar type skill set to McCall, fast, speedy, pretty good route runner as well. Just adds another dimension to that offense. Kind of like, not saying Tyreek Hill, esque, but can do certain things that he can probably do or bring to that offense essentially. So, I think, it's a good trade, like you said, for them as well. Like I said, their receivers are coming around at the right time, and maybe he'll just add to that group and just, make it another weapon and hard for, them to stop and bring them back to, the dominance that they were when they did have Hill and, Kelsey and Robinson and all these other guys, playing.
And real quick, before you go on, you can see what they thought of him. Andy Reid thinks what I think of him. Obviously they know more, but they gave up a third, if I'm not mistaken, for a person.
Yeah, like a third and a 6. Yeah.
Yeah, they know, they watched the film when he played. Robert Quinn went for a fourth. So they know what we're looking at the same thing. They looked at what he can be. We're gonna get him right. I just don't know what the problem was in New York.
I wish I knew too.
I never asked about it, but they're gonna get him right, and they know. They gave up a third, so they know they're getting a pretty good player. You don't just give up a third for no reason.
That's what I'm about to say. Third round draft pick, you just don't be handing those out, especially like you said, for a guy that's been hurt all year. Barely, he didn't really play that last year either. So we know, like you said, they know what they're doing. And like I said, I just can't wait to see him suit up and see what he does with KC. But on the other side of the ball, we got Robert Quinn. Like I said, Eagles making another splash move. They did a lot in the offseason, signed a lot of guys back, obviously traded for A.J. Brown, and they're just bolstering up that defense that's already pretty dominant. So they just add another tool to their toolbox. What do you think of this trade?
Great trade, man. If there was any weakness, I'll say, on their team, it would kind of be their pass rush. The run game's not bad with Fletcher and Jordan Davis, and they got Brandon Graham, they got Hassan Reddick. Their pass rush wasn't bad, but when you can just sit back and rush forward and drop in coverage, when you got people like Bradbury, Slade, C.J. Gardner-Johnson, who else is over there? Vontae Maddox in the secondary. When you could just rush forward and get home before, it's a recipe for success, man. He He had 18.5 sacks last year, if I'm not mistaken. This year production was down a little bit because they let I forgot bro's name go, and he was getting most of the double teams. But Robert Quinn, wherever, like he's been a solid. He's one of those guys that's been around for a minute, but always been a solid player. Like he's not a household name. Not everybody's talking about him, but he's a veteran you want in your locker room and a player that will contribute. And like I said in the chat the other day, the Eagles just going for it, man. Like when you feel this year in the NFL, I'm learning this. I already kind of knew it, but I'm learning it. You just got to go for it because Super Bowl runs don't happen that often. Like, I don't want to talk about my Jaguars, but we had that one year in 2017, and I swore like we're gonna be back. And my dad was always like, "You never know. Like,
never know.
Everything could change." And we haven't been back since. So the Eagles they want to go take to that 2018 year where they won the Super Bowl, and they're undefeated. They're playing well. They obviously see their division is pretty tough, so they want to, keep adding to the roster to keep pulling away, and that's what Howard Roseman is doing, making moves. Getting him for a fourth is good. I know he probably didn't want to be in Chicago because they're heading towards a rebuild, so he gets to go to a place where he can compete immediately and compete for a championship. So good moves on both sides. Two teams sitting at the top of their conference just making more moves and just showing that they're not satisfied. Yeah. I'm all with it. I love when GMs go all in.
Exactly. So another thing, like you said, it's just they added to a defense. And like I said, if anything was weak, it was the pass rush, but they still got, like you said, Brandon Graham, Hassan Riddick, like guys that can still get to the ball, like older guys, veterans, but they can still get to the pass rusher. And like you said, their secondary has been, probably I would say top 5 this year. Darius Slay has put on it at worst, honestly. Like I said, they probably definitely somewhere between top 3, maybe 1 or 2. So their secondary has balled, like you said, Darius Slay, adding CJ Gardner. They have been, they've been a great secondary. And like you said, they now have a pass rush, and now, like you said, they honestly can probably play whatever defense they would want. So it's going to be a sight to see. And like you said, they are already undefeated, probably looking to improve on their record 7-0 today. Or do they have a bye? They might have a bye, so it might be 6-0.
No, they play because they were showing the thing. They play while the Phillies are playing. Well, in between.
I know they play in the day, yeah. But I didn't know if they already had a bye or not. If they didn't, they'll be going for 7-0.
They got a trap game coming up. They play Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
So PA versus PA.
Yeah, they probably looking to take care of business today. But all in all, like you said, I even heard, I don't know if it's true or not, something about, and I highly doubt it would happen.
But, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, going for Kamara.
I hope not.
Yeah, I don't know if I don't know if they do. I don't know if that solidifies it, like them winning the division, them NFC championship game. But that's going to definitely be a team to reckon with. But like you said, it's the main thing is just say going for it. Because if you see open opportunity, open window, because like you said, they started off so hot this year. They've been playing well, adding to their defense. Maybe they add to the offense, going for that Super Bowl run. They did it. It was unexpected, but it happened. 2017,
2018. Yeah, I mean they were having a good year, but when Carson got hurt, nobody thought they were going that
and then Nick Foles obviously stepped in. So it's definitely a good trade for them. Post up that defense, and it's going to be just another good pickup, another good veteran signing. But before we move on, who do you think is the next person that may be on the trading block, or who do you feel like is going to get traded, or you want to see get traded, and where do you want to see him go?
I would like to see Alvin get traded. The Saints experiment was good. They were good for so many years with Drew Brees, but they still have talent, but it's not looking good. They have so many injuries. Mike Thomas hasn't played but 2 games this year.
Yeah.
So maybe AK. I see stuff about Jerry Jeudy, but I don't know. Like, I think hopefully they don't start to click tomorrow. Remember I said this, bro. Like, I swear, if they pick it up, if the Broncos figure it out versus us, we just curse. Like, all teams figure it out versus us. But the Broncos have a lot of young talent, so I don't know why they would give up on him. Maybe they don't think he's the guy they thought he would be. Obviously, we thought Jeudy would be a little better, but he still hasn't really had a good quarterback. And him and Russ haven't been on the same page yet. So you never know. But I would say maybe Elijah Moore.
Yeah, there's been a lot of talk about him.
I'm not going to say a player, but teams like the Packers. Man, I can't think right now, bro.
They need a receiver, but they've been talking. Yeah, they've been saying possibly Jerry Jeudy.
The Packers need to go get somebody.
Yeah, I don't know who.
I mean, the young guys, give him Tom Dubs is pretty solid. Watson, when he gets back, he should be okay. But you got to go get a young kind of not proven player, but one that with A-Rod he'll make him tap into his full potential. So I don't really have players, but I would go
teams that need certain things.
Yeah, I'm trying to think, man. I can't. The Giants need receivers too. Like,
yeah, they've been skating by wins, but it's
they out there rolling out with Darius Slay, my boy G-Co. He's a G-Co boy, so I want him to eat. But Wan'Dale Robinson from Kentucky, they don't have receivers, bro. I don't know how they keep getting it done. They keep winning all these close games. But yeah, the Giants and Packers need to go get a receiver. I like to see who's a good player on a sorry team. Oh man,
I think
Pats probably need to go get weapons too. It's a lot of teams, but yeah, we can move on. I'm glad we're not in that position. I would like to see us go get a number one though. Speaking of that, I know I'm getting off topic, but
I know my team probably need a corner or two. Everybody hurt on our team. We're about to roll out today with. I don't even know if AJ Terrell playing. I think we signed a USFL player that's been balling out, but I don't know if he's hurt or not today. I forgot his name.
Yeah.
I don't know why it slipped in my mind, but yeah, I think we need some type of corner. They say Greedy's on the market. Doubt we do that, but
I mean, you can take a flyer for him, but he's literally stay hurt. Like unless he's a real good pick machine, but he literally can't stay on the field.
Yep, exactly. So, like you said, it's a lot, and that's the main thing that I was talking about. It's like so many middle of the road teams. It's probably why we can't think like obviously certain teams like KC and Super Bowl contending teams that's going to make moves and they make moves to bolster their roster and make them better. But I think other teams are just like middle of the bunch right now. They probably don't even know what they need, to be honest. Like, but you said I'm sure we'll see some coming up because I think the trade deadline's in what
Tuesday.
2 weeks. Oh yeah, Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Oh yeah, damn. Oh yeah, because it is Tuesday. So yeah, I don't know, but we'll definitely see. But next, moving on, kind of want to talk about Brady and the Bucks. Obviously, Thursday night we both went Ravens. For a second, it was looking like we both was going to be wrong, but obviously Lamar and the team came storming back. Brady and Bucks just don't look the same. They had pretty much all their weapons at hand, but that offensive line just hasn't been able to protect them this year. Defense is looking a little shaky. I think Shaq Barrett got hurt as well, so their secondary has kind of been banged up and injured too. So I don't know. They're sitting at 3-5 now.
Yeah, man.
My Falcons got first place in the division.
If y'all win, if y'all lose,
if we win, if we lose, then it'll be the Panthers. But we'll all be tied at the top 3 and 5, but we'll be third because obviously they'll have both of those teams will have the tiebreaker over us. But what do you think, Brady and the Bucks? They done. He need to wrap it up. He done lost a lot. Really don't know why he came back. Lost his wife, lost his family, losing first time under 500 in I don't know how many years they said.
His career since his rookie year or first year starting.
So yeah, I don't know what it is, but you think they're done? You need to wrap it up. I know he's gonna wrap it up after this year. Ain't no way. But do you think they're done for the season? Like not making playoffs? Second, third, bottom of the division. What are we looking at?
I'm gonna be honest, bro. I don't know. Regardless to his career, he came back and he lost his wife. Family separated, so I don't know if he's gonna call it quits. And if they finish 7-10 or 8-9 and don't make the playoffs, I think he's running it back, bro. He already lost everything. Shit, might as well keep going. But I don't know, bro. Like I really don't know if they're done. I've counted Brady out a couple of times. Like when he left New England, I was like, yeah, he can't play without supreme weapons. But then he goes to Tampa Bay and wins the Super Bowl with weapons, still kind of making my point. But it's hard to count that man out. But when you look at their schedule, bro, the offense, like you thought week 1, already scored 19 versus the Cowboys. It was just a tough defensive battle. But they just haven't been able to find their groove. And like you said, they have all their weapons pretty much. Laney's there, Mike Evans there, Godwin's there. Julio, who shows himself, obviously is there. But when you look at the schedule, man, it doesn't get any easier. They got the Rams, then the Seahawks. The Browns are always a tough out. Saints, always a tough game. You got the Niners, then the Bengals, then the Cardinals, who are shaping into form with D-Hop. It's not looking good, bro. It really isn't. Like, I don't know what. I never count them out because they could win all those games because they have Brady, but the offense just isn't putting up enough points, man. I'm scared for him. But right now, the NFC is kind of like it's a couple of teams at the top, like 4 teams at the top. You got the Eagles, the Giants, the Cowboys, and Vikings, and then everybody's like 3-3 or 4-3 or 3-4. So they're right in the thick of it. But I don't know, man. We'll see. I'm not counting them out though. I don't think they're done, but they have some concerns. Like 8 games through, like we talk about teams like we don't know who they are or they'll be able to pick it up, but when you're 8 games through the season, you kind of know what you are. So
Yeah.
they have some serious growing pains. The offensive line, obviously, coming into the season was going to be a problem because of the injuries and people leaving, and that's showing.
Mm-hmm.
But Brady just doesn't look into it. Hopefully, I'm not going to blame the divorce, though, because mentally he's too strong to let that, like, obviously it will bother you, but I don't think it's affecting his play that much. Like, I think it's a little more than that. Maybe he's stressed. It's just a lot of stuff going on in his life.
Yeah.
And hopefully with the divorce getting finalized and other stuff, he'll be able to lock in. I already know he's locked in, though. That's the thing. Like, I know he's having a divorce, but outside of the divorce and his kids, football's getting the most amount of time and preparation. So I don't know if we could use that as an excuse. Maybe he's just not playing that well and they're not dialed in. Maybe people love blaming the OC when offenses don't start clicking. So maybe they're blaming Byron Leftwich. I have no idea, but they need to get it together quick because that schedule doesn't get any lighter.
Yeah.
But they've been losing the cupcakes anyway. They lost to the
Panthers big time.
When they gave their best player away. Literally, they gave their best player away what 2 or 3 days before that.
And we always say that's what happens. Like when big changes are made, trades are made, that team comes out inspired and into
new coach, trade our best player. Oh, you think we're tanking? You think we suck? We finna show you, and that's what they did. But yeah, man, you could go ahead and take it over. But I'm not counting them out yet. But they got some serious.
Yeah, only reason I can't count them out is because our division is just ass. We just suck. Like everybody's under 500. Nobody's showing any type of dominance coming into the year. Everybody thought it was Bucks for sure had it. Saints would give them a run for their money, and my team's sitting up at the top, a team that was supposed to win only 2 games this year. So they're not out of it only because you only have to win the division in order to get to, get a playoff spot. It is concerning, obviously, like you said, because their schedule is probably one of the tougher ones in the league coming up. And teams like mine, we supposedly have the easiest at this point. So like you said, almost halfway into the year, or technically sort of kind of halfway into the year, you're supposed to kind of know what your team is about. Everybody's supposed to be, rounding into form, supposed to be supposed to be a little bit healthier, but they're just trending in the wrong direction all the way around. And like you said, the divorce, honestly, it could be messing with him, but I mean that was rumblings since week 1. But like you say, he's been a professional. He's been playing for 20 years. Like certain things like that, I'm sure he can separate personal home life from on the field football. What everybody deems or who we deem as the GOAT. I definitely think, like you said, he's locked in, but it's just, I guess, I don't know if the team just not built the same. Like you said, it's really that's the offensive line. He's been on his back more, this year than I've really seen him ever in his career. Like every single time I'm turning and looking at a play, like I'll turn away, turn back to the play, and he trying to scramble, or he dropping back, or he just got to just fall. Like it's crazy. Like he really has no time in the pocket, or not as much time as he's used to having in the pocket. And like you said, his weapons are back, and it still doesn't seem like they're rounding into form. Don't know what they're gonna have to do. I don't count them out because they can definitely go on a run at any time. Even in his first year, I mean, they couldn't get over the hump for certain teams, but they stayed the course, went on a run, ended up winning the Super Bowl. So they're not out of it because our division sucks. We trust Brady. They have a bunch of weapons. If they can stay healthy, they should be able to round out into form. But they got to do something about that offensive line. They got to find something that works. Like even with us, Falcons, we have Mariota, supposed to be, RPO type quarterback, supposed to be able to run and pass, but it's been times Arthur Smith, like these last few games, we're just running. Maybe they just need to figure out what they do. Just get the ball to their playmakers in space, or maybe they just need to pound the ground, and maybe that kind of encourages the, the offense. I think that's kind of what's helped, even the Falcons, like one game just decide, all right, we're just going to ram it down their throat, pause, but we just gonna run it down their throat, and we're gonna be a running football team. And I think that kind of helped inspire the offensive line to play a little bit better in other passing roles, pass protection and things of that nature. So maybe they need something like that. I don't know. Maybe he isn't fully focused and they need the full focus Brady, and he's just like that leader that they need to rally around. I don't know what's going on, but like I said, if everything's finalizing with the divorce, maybe in a week or two, or not even a week or two, they need to do it by next week. Maybe next week they're a totally different team. They snap around, come back to life, and go on a run. But it's kind of satisfying to see, but at the same time, it's kind of sad to see because it's
I feel that.
Even with the AB type stuff going on, AB tripping, and I know that could probably be messing with him a little bit too. I don't know, but all in all, like I said, it's satisfying but sad. But I don't think they're out of it. They'll probably still end up somehow winning the division because I know everybody else in our division is just going to shit the bed. But
Yeah, man, AB's crazy, bro. Like this
he
man let
really
you in your
wild.
home. He gave you your last opportunity, and you just like. I already knew there was something wrong with AB, but now 100%. Like, there's no denying there's something wrong with this man. Like,
Yeah.
in the head.
T-shirts.
The T-shirts, the picture. What did he say? I forgot what he posted. He'll post it during the game too while they're losing. Like this man, it's funny, but it's not, bro. Like he's a bad person. Like he really
he's a bad person for
he's a
that.
bad person.
There's no way around it.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Like obviously, I don't think he was hitting Giselle at any point. But if that ever came out that he was, bro, like this man was letting you stay in the crib.
Yeah.
I don't know.
In the crib too. I forgot he did give him a home.
Stayed in their house. Like
yes.
he stayed in their house with the kids. I don't know what he was telling the kids. He probably saying crazy stuff to them. Talking about put that shit on. I don't know. He's tripping.
He do be tripping, but that shit's hilarious. I know something's gonna come out, and I know it's gonna be probably in a few months, maybe right after the season over with, and they like maybe if they when they get X from the playoffs, if that even is something that does happen, it's it's coming because it's been something after every game they play. So he's just a wild man right there. Don't know what's going on with him. They definitely got to test his brain for when he passed. That's gonna have to be the number one thing that they do, donate his brain.
But, he's up there with Kanye and other people.
Yeah, they both tripping. We're just gonna leave it at that. They both of them in the family are tripping. But we're gonna move on. Some of the big games for the day, and then get into our pick'ems. Of course, 49ers, Rams, NFC North, or sorry, not NFC North, sorry, NFC West battle. Both teams, if I'm not mistaken, are at Rams, I believe they may be at 3-3 because they had a bye last week. But 49ers at 3-4. One of the tougher divisions in football a year or two ago, but this year all teams kind of looking a little bit shaky. But nonetheless, going to be a good game. Great defenses facing off. Hopefully everybody on the 49ers are healthy. Obviously, they just added McCaffrey. And then on the Rams side of things, offense that's still trying to find their way. Obviously Cooper Kupp's getting most of the attention. They add Allen Robinson, but don't use him for some reason, and haven't been able to get anything going in the run game. But overall, what you think of this matchup in this game, and who you think takes it today?
It's a tough one because obviously the Niners have owned the Rams beside that NFC Championship game, but both teams kind of struggling. Niners picked up CMC, and we thought the offense would be explosive. They didn't play that bad on Sunday, but Jimmy G had a costly turnover, and I know they're kind of working CMC in the mix. Like every week, I'd say his carries are going to go up, but I don't know. It's a tough game. Both offenses kind of struggling. The Rams, I don't know, man. Allen Robinson hadn't been able to get involved like that this year. His role is increasing a little bit week by week, and I'm glad to see that. But I don't know. With all these weapons, they need Van Jefferson back bad. They haven't been able to establish the run. They're only averaging like 70 yards a game. Cam Akers is not playing anymore for them, so they're trading him out. Defense isn't that bad. They're going under the radar. They're playing some good defense. But I know people expect teams to win a Super Bowl and just pick right back where they left off. Like the NFL is tough. If people haven't realized that yet, every team is pretty good. Not pretty good, but solid enough to beat you every Sunday. So you got to come with your best foot forward. And the Rams just haven't been that consistent. I think they're going to pick it up, but it just hasn't been the season everybody expected so far. And the Niners are the Niners. They just keep getting – the Rams are getting hit by the injury bug too. Let me mention that. Like for the past couple of years, the Rams have been one of the healthier teams in the league. And this year they're getting what the Niners have gotten for the last, I don't know how many years, but every year it seems like they got key players out. You got Trent Williams. What's his name's not playing? Debo's not playing on Sunday. The tight end, the fullback Drucevich is not playing. Like they're getting hit by the injury bug right now, and both teams have kind of struggled because of it. But I don't know what to make of these two teams. It's gonna be a good game because it's a divisional game, but I just really I can't get a good read on both these teams at the moment. Both quarterback play could be better. Jimmy G is a solid game manager, but he will throw the ball to you once or twice like he did last week in the end zone, which was a terrible pick. But I don't know, man. It's going to come down to the trenches. Last time they played, they gave Matthew Stafford hell all game.
Yeah.
Like, all game. He was getting to the point where he was developing happy feet, like trying to take off or throw the ball before it was time to throw it. Like they were just in his head the entire game, and came down to a couple plays. But the Niners were able to pull it out. But I'm going to go Rams this time. They're at home.
Oh wow.
I know they're tired of hearing about the noise because the Niners pretty much. They don't own them, but they kind of do. Like
like you said in the regular season. Once you said that last time, the last matchup, the first matchup of the year, I look back and I was like, oh yeah, they have owned them. Like,
I think they're like 7 they won like 7 straight regular season games versus them 6-7. So I know that's personal to AD and Jalen Ramsey. So I think the Rams are going to come out to play. I know it's a home game, but the Niners going to show up. So it's really going to be like a neutral site game. But I think Matthew Stafford is going to make a couple plays. A-Rod's going to make a few big-time catches. And with Debo out, I know Kyle Shanahan's a mastermind at calling plays. CMC kind of replaces Debo in a way. Like, he's not Debo, but I think he's better than Debo, in my opinion, at his best. But he's not the receiving threat that Debo is. But he can pretty much do it all. And I think they're going to ingratiate him in the game plan, but it's just not going to be enough. I think Jimmy G is going to have a bad turnover at the wrong time, a third or fourth quarter pick when the game's within like 3 or 4 points, and I think that's going to be the deciding factor. Yeah. So I'm going to go Rams in a close one. I would say 27-23. But it's hard to get a read on both these teams. I got to watch them a little bit more, but from what I've seen, I don't know. They haven't been able to find their stride just yet.
Yeah. This is game of the week. Definitely will be tuned in tomorrow, but last time I went with the Rams, you went with the 49ers. We're going to be opposite this time. I'm going with the 49ers. I do, of course, like the ad of, McCaffrey, like you said, another week under his belt to get acclimated with Kyle Shanahan's system. Obviously, Debo will be out, so he's going to be key. I think, like you said, I think both teams, it's hard to get a read on them. Obviously, Jimmy G out, the entire offseason, had no preseason. They had no, any experience. Didn't even expect to play him, and he's kind of been thrust to the starting role. Has looked good and in stretches, but also has made some mistakes in times as well. Like I said, even with their on the defensive side of the ball, have looked great when everybody's out on the field and healthy. But that's just 49ers football. They're never all going to be out on the field and healthy at the same time for some reason. But on the other side of things, I think the Rams are feeling the effects of the of losses of the offseason that they didn't think they was going to feel. Like, honestly, letting go Robert Woods. Obviously, like I said, they added Allen Robinson, but I think they're two different types of receivers to where, Woods in a way kind of similar to Cup to where they moved him around a lot. He's great with the ball in space versus like Allen Robinson, definitely just a bigger body receiver, that can go and get the ball, but I don't feel like they can use them or haven't, at least to this point, utilize them or use them as uniquely as they do with Cups and they used to do with Woods as well. And like you said, even with the run game, haven't been able to get that going either. And on the defensive side of things, losing Von Miller, I think, obviously you still got Aaron Donald, you still got other quality pass rushers, Leonard Floyd, and a decent secondary. But, even they haven't looked the part in times. Like, the pass rush hasn't really been there. Like I said, I feel like losing Von Miller has been a key loss that they haven't expected. And even with, like I said, with Stafford, just hasn't looked like himself because they haven't had nobody else to throw to the ball to except for Cup. Like, Higbee hasn't really been used. Robinson hasn't been used. Like I said, feeling the effects of Van Jefferson not being there. They definitely need a more dominant back. I think obviously they was in the running to try to get Christian McCaffrey, but just didn't happen. So they're still trying to figure things out because everybody knows where the ball going and it's going to that man right there. And you can shut that down easily, especially when nothing else can, nothing else is going, nothing else can happen. So definitely feel like it's going to be a good game, but in a game that's going to maybe solidify who's going to probably take the lead in this division, being that last matchup between these two, because we still don't know what the Cardinals are going to do. But got a special guest in the building. Definitely excited to bring him on. See you Sunday. President of Off the Ball Network, Mr. Chris LeBron. How you doing today, man?
What's going on, fellas?
What's good?
Nothing much. Appreciate you for joining us. Of course, hopped right on in when we, starting our little NFL slate. Of course, talking about 49ers and Rams. One of the bigger matchups this week. You got on right in time because I think it's either next up or the one before or the one after that. We're going to talk about your Giants. I know you're excited about that.
Dad, I'm sorry, man.
It pained me to put it in the show, but I think I'm
sorry. You guys almost had it. The refs almost gave it to you, but that's okay. We overcome the odds.
Hey, let's move on. We're on to
America's team right now.
Oh man, definitely not going that far. But we finished up our thought. Just what do you think about the 49ers Rams matchup this week? And who do you feel like takes this game?
Oh man, two teams banged up and all that, and 49ers getting McCaffrey. We're definitely gonna see more of a dose of McCaffrey, especially with Debo out. So this is gonna be an interesting matchup, but I'm gonna go with the. I don't know. I don't trust Jimmy G, bro. I don't trust him, man. Like I know it's a good insurance that they have him as a backup, but there's a reason why they wanted Trey Lance to be the dude,
Exactly.
and because I think they already I think they reached their ceiling with Jimmy G. Like he is what he is. Like he's gonna if he has the right pieces around him, he can can win some games for you. But I don't know. He's I just don't trust him. But
liability at times.
Yeah, he just makes some bad throws, bad decision making at times where you're just like, that doesn't make sense. And but it seems like Kittle's getting healthier and getting more incorporated into the off, which is what they need because him healthy, he's one of the best tight ends in the league, and they need to feed that boy, especially with Debo out. Obviously, we're gonna see more Brandon Ayuk and all that. So. And with the Rams, that line, that's going to be the battle of the trenches. If the 49ers get to Stafford, it could be a rough day. Rams have some issues too. The whole Acre stuff is kind of crazy, and all that. But and so it's going to be a fun match. It's always a good matchup when these two teams go. But if I had to pick, I think, man, that's tough. It's going to be a close game. I think I'll go. I think with CMC getting more acclimated in the offense, I think he's a difference maker. I think they Niners get it done, even with Jimmy G.
Yeah, as I said, I think it's going to be a close one. I think I went 49ers as well. That went Rams, but we're definitely going to see. Next game we got on the tabs: Cardinals, Vikings. Obviously, D-Hop came back their last game, and as if he never left. I think he posted over 100 yards. I think he had 10 catches, something of that nature. And the Vikings have looked pretty good throughout the year. I think they're sitting at 5-1, leading the division, and kind of taking it handily right now, being that Green Bay struggling so much. But Cardinals, Vikings. I'll start with you, Thad. What do you think of this matchup, and who do you think takes it?
Coming into the season, I thought the Vikings were going to be a really good team, but they really haven't. I mean, I know there's good teams in the NFL, but they haven't really had the toughest schedule. They beat the Saints, the Bears, the Dolphins without Tua. They haven't really had a test. And I think, the Cardinals are 3-4. They got the problems with Kyler and Cliff. I think they're getting a little better. They're protecting Kyler a little more. He's running the ball more, which I like. For them to be great, he kind of has to run the ball a little more. I know he wants to be a pocket passer and not get hit, but that's what makes him pretty good. So I don't really know. D-Hop coming back. They're developing more of a run game. I really don't know what to think of this game. Like, I think the Vikings are good, but I don't know until they play a really, really good team. But I'm going to go with the Vikings, but I think it's going to be a really close game because D-Hop is D-Hop. He missed the first 6 games, was hurt all last year, but came back and they fed him the rock. And I think that Cliff's going to do that again this week. The Vikings don't have the best secondary. Pat Pete was a great corner during his prime, but he's not Pat Pete anymore. So I think they're going to test him a lot. And I mean, I really don't know. I think the Vikings are going to win in a close one, but I think the Cardinals are better than people think they are, and I think they'll find a way. I don't know if they're going to make the playoffs, but I think they're going to be above 500. Like, they're going to find their stride in the next couple of weeks. But the Vikings, man, they're a solid team. They got weapons all around. They got Irv Smith. They have Justin Jefferson, Thielen, who's still hanging around there. Dalvin Cook, if he can stay healthy. Him and Madison are actually a pretty good 1-2 punch when they use them the right way.
Yeah.
So I think the Vikings are going to win this game, but don't be surprised if the Cardinals win this game or the Vikings squeak this out by a last-second field goal. I think the Cardinals – I know there's a lot of noise around them with the arguments and the stuff on the sideline, but that happens all the time. They don't catch it, but it happens. And I think that – I don't know. I just have this weird feeling that they're not as bad as people think they are overall. Like, their defense – Isaiah Simmons, I know he had a slow start to his career, but he's picking up. He's making plays every single week. Every time I watch him play, he's making plays. Buda Baker's Buda Baker. And I don't know. I just – for some odd reason, I think that the Vikings, they're coming off a bye too, so I don't know how Kevin O'Connell, this is his first year as a head coach. I don't know how they're going to come out of a bye week. Some teams come out sluggish. Some teams come out, ready to go. So this could be a trap game for them. But I'm going to go – I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. I'm going to go 34-31 Minnesota in a close one.
Yeah. Perez, what you think?
It should be like a high-scoring game. I mean, both defenses are kind of are not good. And the Vikings defense is kind of disappointing. They should be a lot better. I mean, they give up a lot of yards. I mean, they don't give up points, which is that's the most important. I think they're like top 10 in points allowed. So I mean, it's a bend don't break defense. But with B-Hop back, I think that's going to help Kyler a lot. That's a security. I mean, we saw it. He had like 15 targets and 10 catches. Yeah, so him not being there for the first half of the season, I think, is what really hurt this team big time. I mean, and imagine if you had B-Hop and Hollywood Brown, together. Maybe we're talking about the Cardinals in a different way, because they have the talent. I mean, and then I think Thad hit it. Like, their record doesn't indicate. I think they're better than what their record says. Like, they're not. I don't think they're a 3-4 team. And they're kind of, like I said, this game is kind of hard to predict because the Vikings are 5-1, but except strength of schedule hasn't been great and all that. And Kirk hasn't really. I think he has like 8-9 touchdowns, so he hasn't really been able to clean that thing yet. He hasn't had that game where he usually has those Kirk Cousin games where he goes crazy, 350, 4 touchdowns. He hasn't gone crazy like that yet. So this should be the game to do that. But I wouldn't be surprised if we're talking about like a 21-14 type of game. It's the under. It's that type of game. But B-Hop should get work against that secondary. And like Thad mentioned, the whole skirmish with the Kyler and Cliff. That happens all the time. It's magnified more because of what's going on with them, right? They're underperforming and all. So that just gets and Cliff may be on the hot seat and all that, but they've been together like forever, essentially, right? Cliff recruited him back in the day, so that's just that's a coach player.
Yeah, it probably ain't even happened. It's probably definitely not the first time that happened, like you said.
No, it's not the line. If Cliff's still there. It won't be the last time, that's quarterback, coach, especially an offensive coach. That's how, we know that happens all the time. But it's this is an interesting matchup, definitely an interesting match. So I think the Vikings should win this game, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Cardinals win. But I think it's gonna be a close game, like Dad mentioned, it's gonna be a close game. So I would say 24-20 type of game for the Vikings.
Yeah, I'm gonna go opposite. I'm gonna go Cardinals. Like you said, D-Hop being gone definitely is gonna have an effect on the offense and how everything is going, how everything moves, play calling, all those different things. And like you said, they're a bend don't break type defense. Maybe this is the week that Cardinals get on the roll. They start to break a little bit and put some points up. Like you said, I'm expecting high scoring. Like that said, probably like in the 30 range. I think both teams are capable of putting up 30 easily. But I'm gonna go with the Cardinals just for the simple fact with D-Hop's back. Like you said, secondary isn't as strong. They do have veterans such as Peterson and Harrison, but like I said, I think they're still shells in themselves and or starting to become a little bit of shells in themselves. Obviously Peterson for sure. And D-Hop.
He's cooked.
He's definitely cooked.
He's barbecue chicken right now. So B-Hop, whenever B-Hop sees
that's what I was about to say.
It's barbecue chicken.
It's over with. It's over with. So I think, like Thad was saying, they're gonna start to find their stride. We'll start talking about them a little bit, differently. And I think one thing people were, kept saying about like the argument on the sideline is just kind of showing that Kyler cares a little bit more. And it's just funny to me, I think overall, as a professional, you're going to care regardless. You're going to want your team, to be playing up to par. You want to play up to par. You want to make the right, coaches to making the right play calling and, to win games. So I think, as professionals, like I said, it's just more fuel to the fire. I think they're all going to be on the same page this week, and I think they're going to start to take off, and this might be the turning point for them for sure. So I'm going to go with the Cardinals on this one. Hopefully they don't burn me and prove me wrong, or will prove me wrong. But I know this is the favorite part for press. Favorite part of the show. Like I said, paying me to put it in, but looking at it, it is a big game, big matchup for the NFC and for both squads, respectively. I will allow you to go first and talk about your G-men, Giants versus Seahawks. Like I said, big NFC matchup this week. What do you think about this matchup, and what do you think your Giants come out with the win, or what's going to happen?
If I told you guys Week 8 Seahawks Giants is going to be a pivotal matchup in the NFC, you'd be like, nah. Even I would have been like, nah. Seahawks are trying to tank, and the Giants would be probably. I would have projected they would have been like 200, maybe 3 wins, maybe like in that 2-3 wins range, especially like with the receiver situation. Like, there's no way we'd be sick, where we're at right now, 6-1. So it's just crazy that we're talking about this game the way we are, where the Seahawks could be 5-3 potentially. So it's crazy, but obviously Geno has really played really solid football for the Seahawks. Now there's no DK, but the Giants are essentially starting us 3 at receiver. So that's the thing, is that's kind of what's been wild, is like, and I heard you talk about like who needs a wide receiver. The Giants need not just one, they need a couple.
They need 1, 2,
they need
3.
And they just traded Kadarius. And that situation was always weird from training camp, because they didn't draft him. This regime didn't draft him. So he's always been in trade rumors, and then he hasn't really played at all this year. And then he gets shipped out, and I wouldn't be surprised if he comes in a wheelchair and just out of nowhere just pops up and he's healthy and he's playing 40-50 snaps.
Just like that said, pull a Jalen Ramsey.
Yeah, pull a Jalen Ramsey. So suddenly they're healthy. But the Giants wide receiver situation is still something that needs to get figured out. But Wandell, he's healthy. That helps. He's getting more acclimated. Daniel Jones getting a little bit more protection. Evan Neal might be out, so that's going to hurt the right side. But Andrew Thomas has been he's been his security blanket at that left tackle spot. He's not letting Daniel get hurt, and obviously Saquon bounce back season. But the Seahawks team is pesky, man. Like, I think they need to be able to establish the run with Kenneth Walker. And if they do that, I think they can give us trouble. I mean, the Giants have historically had trouble at Seattle, especially how loud, and it's going to be loud because the Seahawks are a solid team. So it's going to be loud if Geno stays away from mistakes, because our defense has been solid, but we need to apply more pressure and all that. We don't apply enough pressure. Obviously, with Thibodeau getting more comfortable, and so it's going to be a close game. Every Giants game is close, So it's going to be close. I'm really looking forward. You want me to give a prediction, or you want to wait?
Yeah, you can give a prediction.
Prediction. It's gonna be a close game. I don't think it's gonna be high score and all that. I'll say Giants squeak it out. Let me say 20-17. Go 20-17. Giants squeak it out.
Y'all have been a great second half team this year and squeaking out games.
Yeah, I mean, down 10 points. I mean, it feels like a few games we've been down 10 points, and we can't. That's not going to be able to. We can't sustain that. Going down 10 points. Like eventually. Especially when you don't have we don't have an explosive offense that can overcome that constantly. So eventually that 10-point lead might go to 20, and then it's like, oh, all right, well, we got punched in the mouth, and it's like, so I understand that, but it'd be cool to try to get a comfortable win, so I don't have to be stressing out on, because every game has been close. Every game's been close. All 7 games have been close, so it'd be cool if they can. But it's going to be a tough game going to Seattle, and that place is going to be loud and all that. So it's going to be interesting how to see, how the line plays with that place being so loud, especially with Evan Neal. Now we got some injuries in the interior line, so how they mesh, hearing the plays and all that. So that's going to be very interesting to see, Sunday. But I think the Giants could squeak this out, but in a close one though.
Yeah. Thad, what you think?
I kind of feel the same way with almost everything Chris said. Coming in, both teams, not saying they were tanking, but the Seahawks, I didn't pick them to win any more than 4 games. But
we had them on the clock, essentially. Most of us had them
on the clock. Literally. I don't know what to make of these teams. The Giants, I talk a little bit mess, but good teams always find a way to win games, close games. Like, I know Chris said you're not going to be able to do this for all 17 games, but they could easily be 2-5, just like the Jaguars. Like, I joke about it, but they're kind of like the same.
Right? It could be
every game by less than 7 points. So we've been in every game, but the Giants just keep finding a way, and that has something to do with coaching. Second half adjustments in the film room, those 15 to 20 minutes you have in the locker room when they're on the tablet, those small adjustments they're making are paying dividends, and they're just playing good complementary football. Daniel Jones' stats aren't too crazy. He has 6 touchdowns, I think, to 2 picks, but he's not turning over the ball. He's not fumbling the ball. I don't know how he fixed that because I didn't think that could be fixed.
Yeah.
But just overall, man, they're playing great football. Like they're utilizing the weapons they have. They're not complaining about rolling out Darius Slayton or Rondo Robinson is wide receiver 1 and 2. They're doing what they got to do, and Dayball's making adjustments and just scheming around the players he has. And kudos to him. Like last week in the game, Saquon was bottled up for the first 3.5 quarters, but they kept giving him the rock. They didn't give up on the run game. And the last 10 minutes of the fourth quarter, he was giving us hell. And good coaches do that. Some coaches get away from the run game as soon as they have 2 negative plays, and they're just continuing to feed their best player. And on the Seahawks side, shout out to them, man. They gave up on Russ. Everybody thought they were done, but they hit on their draft picks. Pretty much everybody. Kobe Bryant from Cincinnati, Tyreek Woolen, the tackles, Kenneth Walker.
Yeah, man.
They just, I don't know, man. Shout out to Pete Carroll. I really thought they were done. And Geno's playing his best ball. I always talk about mental reps when you're hurt or something like that. But he got to watch Russ and other quarterbacks for the last 4 to 5 years. And all those mental reps are paying off. I think he still leads the league in completion percentage. He's making some big-time throws. It's not that they're just running the ball to win games. He's making a lot of big-time throws on third down, which is the money down in the NFL. And, just shout out to Geno for that. But it's going to be tough this week. Like you said, DK's out. So I know, Chris, you said they have to establish a run game because play action is going to be vital. When you don't have Tyler Lockett's a deep threat, but he's not exactly what he was, a couple years ago.
Yeah,
so.
and he's banged up too.
Yeah, the Giants are going to be having 8-9 in the box, pressing up, daring them to throw the ball over their heads, and Geno's going to have to do that. But to, be successful at play action, you're going to have to establish the run game, which they can do. But the Giants' run defense isn't terrible. Like, outside of a couple big plays by ETN last week, I feel like you guys kind of contained this in the run game. So,
yeah,
give me a tough game in Seattle. 2 teams that have completely surprised us. I'm going to go the same way as Crystal. I think the Giants, once again, I know it's stressful, but they find a way to pull it out. I wouldn't be surprised if Seattle won by 10. But the Giants, I don't know, man. In that second half, the defense, everybody just tightens up. And Thibodeau, I think he's just not scratching the surface, but his breakout game is coming. We held him a lot last week.
He's getting close. He's getting close. Like he's been one of those guys that, his stats aren't gonna show you what he's been able to do, but he's been getting close to the core.
A lot of hurries.
He has a lot of QB hurries, and this could be the game where he finally has that 2-sack game because it's coming. It's coming because he's been close, but it's gonna be whoever established the run. Both defenses are not good at stopping the run, are not good at stopping the run, and obviously with both passing games, Seattle has all their injuries at the wide receiver core, and the Giants have all their issues at the wide receiver core. It's gonna be whoever establishes the run best. If we see Saquon go off and he's got 150 yards. The Giants could be able to take over this game. But if Kenneth Walker goes off, it's going to be whoever establishes the run and who makes the least mistakes. Exactly. If that happens, then that's going to be the key to this game. But this game could be even lower. It could be a 13-10 game simply because both these passing games are banged up and all that. So I could see it even being a lower scoring game than that. But whoever establishes the run best is going to win this football game.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth. That's what I was going to say because, like you said, just injuries and issues at the wide receiver position. Obviously, Geno has protected the ball. Well, honestly, both quarterbacks have protected the ball pretty well this year. But it just hasn't been just a pass happy offense for either one of them. And like you said, emergence of Kenneth Walker, that's looking like a wonderful pick each and every week he touches the rock. And then like you said, Saquon has finally got back to his to his mojo, and he's been able to find holes here and there. Like you said, it's mainly just coaching both. Kudos to coaching on both sides. For both teams, for even having the teams in this position. But like you said, I think the Giants is going to be another stressful week for sure because both of these teams definitely going to go back and forth. Like you say, whoever establishes the ground game, that's going to be honestly, who wins the game. So whoever's running back probably has the most rushing yards, they probably took the game. But I think the Giants pulled this out in a close one as well. And like y'all were talking about Kayvon, he's definitely coming close. He's about to have a breakout game. This could easily be the one. Like I said, he's made timely plays, the last few weeks, one of the notable ones being in, London to get the strip sack on Aaron Rodgers to close out that game. I think he's definitely coming. Defense is starting to shape around and form. Like I say, each every week, second half, they come out and they're just playing lights out dominant. like not letting really anybody score or put up any points on them. So I think it's definitely going to be one of those weeks where it's going to be stressful, but you guys improve and go to what 7-1, and continue to push.
Coaching.
Yep.
Like coaching can be overrated at times, but in this case, it's like the difference. I mean, because it's a lot of the same roster with the Giants. Like it's not a big haul over, right? And then if anything, we lost guys. So like it just shows you that sometimes coaching can make a difference. Like this team, if you put the same exact team and you put it with Joe Judge, we're not even talking about this game. We're not. We're not talking about this game. The Giants are probably 2-5, or we lose the close games. Put Daboll in there, who's very respected, knows how to work with whatever, right? He's not working with a lot. He's got Saquon, and that's essentially it right now. And he just knows where to put the guys. He knows how to utilize Daniel Jones to his best ability, right? Knows how to make sure he uses his legs and all that. Like Daniel Jones is, I know I've been harsh on him. I've also realized he's had a lot of different coaches and all that. But the fact that we have him and he's able to use his legs, his legs have saved us, probably won us 2 to 3 games.
He's definitely sneaky fast,
especially with the pressure we've been able to get with the line, especially early in a few games, like where the line was just dreadful. He's been a save. So like Daboll, the coaching has really been and they like him. They didn't like Joe Judge. You see what you do when you like. It's like we all play football, right? There's certain coaches you willing to go through a wall for, right? And there's certain coaches you're like, nah, I'm not rocking with you. Like I'm not willing to go that extra mile for you. They're willing to go the extra mile for Daboll, and I think that's the biggest thing the Giants have missed these last few coaches. That like you may know football, but you don't really. I'm not gonna go all out for you. And
you got to connect Daboll, on some type of level,
Yeah, they have that respect for Daboll. He's like one of the dudes, and like. But he'll get in your face too. Like he got in Daniel Jones' face a few times during the season. So like he has that respect, He has that respect. So I think that's the biggest thing with the Giants is that culture change. And Brian Daboll coming from Buffalo, he's with Nick Saban. He's won championships. Like he knows what he's doing, and he's really established his footprint here. And I'm really looking forward to the future with him. I feel like we finally got it right. Joe Shane too as a GM, like. Buffalo, man, that just shows what Buffalo's doing is really good because they got a machine over there going on potentially, but the culture change, man, and Pete Carroll too, man. Like they could have just felt, we're just gonna lose, but we thought maybe 1-2 wins, maybe possibly. Like their roster wasn't good going in, but he had them believing. Gino believed in himself, and that's what you need. All Gino needed was someone to believe in him.
Yep.
That's it. It's crazy what you do when somebody believes in you. Like, yo, you're gonna, because people are like, oh, they should play Drew Lock and just really go for the tank. And then like, nah, have some respect for ourselves, And it's like, so good at coaching. Pete's still one of the best coaches in the league, and Daboll, I think eventually is going to be. We're talking about him in the top echelon coaches, in a few years. But coaching matters, man. Coaching matters in this case.
Yeah, it definitely does. Like I said, even he's made some tough calls. He's not afraid to make the tough calls.
Exactly.
That one time, went out for it on 2.
Yeah, that first week against Tennessee, that going for it. He's went for a lot. And it's worked out, and so he's just making the right moves right now. So it's been fun. It's definitely been fun.
Real quick before you go on, you know how you say he's a player's coach? Like, that's how you become a player's coach and get your guys to buy into you. When you believe in them in those critical situations to go for 2, like, if they didn't get that, he's getting killed. But he believes in his guys and his personnel, and that just – I don't know. As a player, like, when your coach believes in you, it just gives you extra confidence to go out there and play a little harder and execute the game plan. So,
that 2-point conversion, the first game against Tennessee.
Yep.
I think that's what had the team believing in him. Mm-hmm. Because he said, I'm going to put the ball in my best playmaker's hands. Mm-hmm. And if he don't get it, he don't get it. But I'm going to give him a chance to make a play. Like Saquon made a play on that one. That play was dead.
It was dead in the backfield. Yeah.
Tennessee did the right thing. Like everyone did. They had him dead. But he trusted, hey, Saquon, make a play. And what Saquon do finally? Like he made a play. Boom, boom, got him. And got the 2-point, and that's what it is. You trust your playmakers. Look at Saquon; he's having a tremendous year. He's gonna be an all-pro potentially. Like you trust his playmakers, and when you do that, like Thad, you say, like you put trust in your players. that's when they're gonna go in for you. Like, and then and you could go at Daniel Jones, right? Yo, Daniel, what are you doing right here? And say, okay, and so you have that respect. So that's the biggest key. Like, if that's Joe Judge, oh god, get out. I didn't want to hear about that guy again. Dick Shermer, all these terrible coaches, that we just didn't have respect for the players. Like, they may know football, but just didn't have respect. Dable definitely got that respect, from us players.
Yeah, congrats. I said, it looks like y'all might have found your one, but definitely looking forward to this game. Hopefully, like I said, we'll see a shootout in some form or fashion. And then I can't wait for that matchup, Philly Giants. That's what we're looking for. Hopefully, it's undefeated to 7-1.
I hope they keep winning. I do too. I want to end the streak. I want to end it.
Hopefully, I'm definitely looking forward to that time period too. But real quick, before we finish, last two things we're on the show. Of course, we do our little pick 'ems. I forgot to put the little graphic together, but I think I might have caught up and I might be beating Thad at the moment. I know I had 2 big weeks. Thad had one terrible last week. I forgot. Yeah, like 5 games, 6 games, right, or something like that.
It was last week or the week before last.
Yeah, it was the week before last. But real quick, gonna go through our pick 'ems. Both of us already went Baltimore. Of course, Chris, you obviously welcome to join in. Denver, Jacksonville. We'll make it short. I'm gonna go. I forgot this one's in London too. I'm gonna go Jacksonville. Y'all really have been killing me the last few times that I picked y'all, but Russ is coming off of injury. Obviously, Denver just it's all over the place. Y'all, like you said, haven't lost a game by more than 7 points. Y'all been in every game. I just gotta learn how to finish. So hopefully y'all learn this week. So I'm gonna go with y'all. That who you got?
I'm going with the Jags. It's our home away from home. London, like you said, we've been in every single game. We could easily be 5-2 or 6-1, but we're not. So let's move on from that. But I eventually think Denver's going to pick it up. I've been saying that for a couple of weeks. I know Russ is not the same player, but I don't think he's completely washed. I don't know what it is, but they're going to pick it up eventually, but hopefully not this week. It's going to be a close game. I'd say us by like 3 or 6, 24-20. Denver's defense, I know they're struggling, but their defense is very, very good. And Pat Surtain is very, very good. So
yeah,
we're not going to score too many points on them. But we're in London, home away from home. So we're going to pull out a close dub.
Prez, you got?
I think every week I say, yo, this is going to be the Broncos week. They're going to finally, they're going to ride. Mr. What's his persona now? Mr. What's his new thing? Mr. Intangible. I don't know. Some weird thing, Russ being, Russ being corny, whatever it was, but they should finally get it rolling. They should, but it's not. I don't know. I guess I'm gonna go. I say they win a close one. I think Broncos win a close one. That defense is really good.
They are really good.
Defenses. I feel bad for them. And I was a linebacker. I don't know if you guys play defense playing ball, but when the offense is just doo-doo, like when they're doo-doo, that hurts. That hurts because it's like, yo, we're doing everything on defense. We're giving you the ball, like turnovers, and you can't do nothing. That hurts. But I think they should finally get it going, but who knows? I think it's gonna be close. It's gonna be a low scoring game for sure, though. So yeah. I'm gonna go with Russ and Denver.
Oh man, Carolina, Atlanta. I'm gonna go with my squad. We're banged up in the secondary, and Carolina's playing, that hero ball that they play when you trade away players and everybody just starts stepping up to the plate and they become a powerhouse type team. But we're at home. We actually done won a few games at home this year, surprisingly. So I think we'll take this one as well. Hopefully we're able to throw the ball more than 10 times and can actually use Pitts in London for once. But I'm going to go with us. It's probably going to be a close one. It might be a shootout. It might be high scoring, and it could easily be low scoring. But I think we'll take the win. Who y'all got?
Yeah, I'm going to go Atlanta in a close one. I like what you guys got going. I know Carolina had a nice little win last week, playing inspired ball. Like we said, though, if a coach gets fired or their rumors are tanking, they're going to come out inspired. But I like what Atlanta's doing. Arthur Smith has the guys playing hard for him. He's establishing a nice scheme. He's doing what works. He's not trying to be pretty and throwing the ball 40 times a game.
Yeah.
If you got to run the ball 30 and throw it 20, if that gets you dubs, it's whatever. But I would like to see London and Kyle Pitts utilize a little bit more. I know Cordell's coming back soon. He's on IR. I know he should be coming back in a couple of weeks.
I think the next game he should be eligible too. I think.
But yeah,
Yeah,
I'll
it's 4
take the
games,
win. I
right?
like what they got going. Go ahead.
Yeah. That's just like wide receiver purgatory for these two teams. Like we got free DJ Moore, London, like Pitts and all that. Like, no, but
Yeah.
Falcons are doing, I think they're in the right direction for sure. So, but it should be a close one. It might be tough on the eyes to watch, especially with the quarterbacks at play. So I'll go Falcons. Falcons.
I appreciate the sweet fellas. Chicago, Dallas. Who we got?
You go first. This should be quick.
Oh
Chicago. Yeah.
Nah.
I'm gonna go Dallas. I know Zeke's out, but I think
Pollard season.
Yeah, Pollard should eat. I have him in fantasy in one of my leagues too, so that he should be able to eat. I think he's been waiting. He's waiting, and this could be a game where Dallas might look at it, especially if he eats, that they might be able to use him more than Zeke down the stretch. Zeke hasn't looked like Zeke of late, so Pollard thinks ready to emerge. But I'm gonna go Dallas, especially at home.
Yeah, same here. Dallas, quick one. I mean, if Chicago has more so of a game plan that they had this past Monday Night Football, it's a chance. But Dallas defense actually has been looking really, really good. Obviously, Dak's back. Got him another week to be a little bit healthy and get back acclimated with the offense. So I think they're gonna be all right. They should take this one handily, and they're at home. So I'm gonna go Dallas. That we got.
Yeah, I got Dallas, but I was encouraged a little bit by what I saw on Monday night. I know it was the Pats, and they're struggling, but the game plan surrounded around Fields, like they were trying to utilize what he's good at, having him on the run, bootleg and stuff, not trying to make him just be a complete pocket passer. With all that being said, there's some momentum going into this week, but they're playing the Cowboys. Best pass rush in the league, if not top 3. If they make them one-dimensional, the game's over. That's all I'm going to say. If they stop the run, they stack the box and force Chicago to pass, and they have one of the worst passing offenses in the league, this game's going to be over with. They're just going to pin their ears back and go get the quarterback, and that's what they do best. So I'm going to take Dallas. But I wouldn't be surprised if it's a close game because Chicago did not look too terrible. Exactly. And their defense isn't bad to start off with. I will say that.
No, defense solid.
Yeah. Miami, Detroit. I don't know. I'm gonna go Miami. Obviously Tua's back. Looked okay-ish last week. Detroit came out. We were inspired by the Hard Knocks. Thought they were gonna be, different squad, different team, and they're just, looking like the same old.
Still trash.
Got injuries at the receiver position. Defense isn't that great either. And their coach is making weird calls at the end of games and kind of costing them as well. So I'm gonna go Miami on this one. Who y'all got?
I'll go first. I'm going Miami, but it's gonna be a shootout, I think. Miami's defense is okay, but Detroit's defense is awful.
Yeah.
Detroit can put up points, if anything. And Tua did look a little shaky. He looked okay. The offense obviously looks different with him, but he had a lot of plays that could have gone the other way with interceptions. The Steelers just didn't want to catch the ball on Sunday. But I'm going to go 35-31 Miami. This has potential to be a high-scoring game. Yeah.
The Lions suck. And their offense looks like, the greatest show on turf a couple weeks, and then they now I think the last 2 weeks they score like 6 points. So they suck. Everybody was so hyped about them because of Hard Knocks and all that, and Campbell, such a rah coach, and look at their 1-5. So all that rah is out of nowhere, So I didn't buy into all that. They need to figure stuff out. I think the Dolphins come in and they give it to Detroit. I think they win big. I think it's a double-digit 2-touchdown game. Miami figures it out. They start clicking again, like they looked the first 3 weeks. Tua getting back and comfortable. I think the Dolphins take care of it. It's 2-touchdown win.
2-touchdown win, easy. We already went Arizona, Minnesota, so let's skip over that one. Vegas, New Orleans. Vegas. I'm gonna go with Vegas. I'll just keep it short. Obviously, I can never, pick the Saints, and they suck this year anyway. And I don't know if Andy Dalton or Jameis is going to be going, but it may not even matter. Michael Thomas is out. They're talking about trading Kamara. Defense isn't as great and strong as they thought it were going to be, adding Honey Badger and bringing a few other guys back. So I'm going to go Vegas. It probably will be a close one. New Orleans always figures out a way to stay close and in games, but I'll take Vegas in this one.
Yeah, I'm going Vegas too. New Orleans, I've always said it's a terrible place to play. It's like you're not gonna blow them out at home. You rarely see that happen. But the last couple of weeks, Vegas has leaned on Josh Jacobs, and he's been a problem. They can establish the run game with Devontae, Renfro, and Waller. As other weapons, I don't know. I mean, they're 2-4 coming off a bye. I think they're not too far out of it. Honestly, the AFC West hasn't been what we thought it was going to be, but I think Vegas is catching stride. We play them next week, I think. Yeah, we play them next week, so it's going to be a tough one. But I'm going to take Vegas in a close one. But I wouldn't be surprised if New Orleans wins. You know, talking about trading the whole team, nobody's really healthy. They're going to come out hungry. But I'm going Vegas. Yeah. New Orleans is too banged up right now.
Yeah, I'm going Vegas. I'll keep it short. They're gonna ride Josh Jacobs, bro. He's got that 5th-year option declined and said, you know what, I'm gonna show you guys why you should have picked that up and pay me. And he's absolutely balled out. He's looking like an all-pro this year. Andy Dalton's probably starting, so he's good for a pick 6 or 2. So I'm gonna go Raiders.
Yeah. Probably 2. He had 2 last week, right?
Back 2 last week, right? So yeah, he's good for 1. He's good for 1.
Yeah. New England Jets, surprising. Most of us probably are going to go Jets. This wouldn't have been the answer some years back, but Jets that's built through the draft. That's all I can say. Built through the draft. Rookies are balling out. Zach Wilson actually looks like a capable quarterback at times. Obviously it sucked last week with Brees Hall going down, but they get your boy James Robinson, Thad. Hopefully he's able to help produce in that offense with Michael Carter. Even though it'll be a little bit of change, like I said, on the offensive side, defense is still playing lights out. New England, like you said, has things to figure out. The whole quarterback fiasco that they went through this past Monday, I don't know if that's gonna hurt or help bolster Mac Jones, but all in all, I think it's gonna be a tough one on the road. Now I'm gonna go with the Jets in this one. What would you get?
I'm going upset. I'm going with the Pats. They got I wouldn't say ran through, but they got embarrassed on Monday Night Football by a not very good football team. And I know Bill Belichick's going to have the guys ready to go. Mac Jones is going to play much better because he got benched after 3 drives. Didn't even really get a shot. Mm-hmm. Yeah, man, I think just Bill Belichick and young quarterbacks, it's not good. It doesn't go well for the quarterbacks.
They don't even know who the coordinator is. Their coordinator is Joe Judge and Matt Patricia. Come on, get out of here.
Terrible. But now Zach Wilson. I really like the Jets have been playing good, but Zach Wilson has not been playing that well. If you've been watching the games,
he's holding him back.
Yeah, he's holding him back, if anything. And I think Belichick's just going to take advantage of that. The Jets are rolling high. They're 6-2, 5-2 right now, playing great football. Saleh has those guys ready to go, but I just think Belichick is going to put together a game plan. It's going to be a low-scoring game, a 17-13 type game, and Mac Jones is just going to make a couple plays at the end of the game to help them come out on top. So I'm going New England in the upset. I know it's probably going to be ugly, but I'm taking the Pats.
This is going to be an ugly one. I mean, Brees Hall, the Brees Hall injury hurts. I mean, they probably could have had the rookie of the year on both offense and defense.
Yeah.
With Sauce and Brees. So that's huge. Obviously, they got James Robinson, but what Brees was doing was he was looking very, very good.
James Robinson is not breaking off any of those runs.
Exactly. He's not going 70 like so that. They lose that. I know they got Carter too, but they're not breakout. They're not guys who could take, the ball 60 yards. So they're missing that. And I mean, they have the wide receivers to make big plays, but Zach Wilson is what he is at the moment. Like he's still young and all that, but they're 5-2. And if you told me the Jets were going to be 5-2, if they told me they're going to win 5 games, I would have been like, I don't know about that, let alone be 5-2 at this point. But the Patriots are favored actually on the road. Wow. And I think I'm going to go with the Patriots. I mean, I know that place MetLife going to be loud. The Jets haven't beat the Patriots in like 13 games or whatever like that, something like that, 12 games. So, but it's going to extend. I think I just don't trust Zach Wilson. And, even though the Patriots have looked so up and down right now, but I think the loss of Brees Hall is huge. It's going to be huge. And now you have to make Zach Wilson make plays. And we got the Elijah Moore stuff going on where, he's crying that he ain't getting enough passes and touches and all that. So I think the Patriots win a close one on the road and beat the Jets.
Yeah, I could easily see them winning because, like you said, I mean, different New England team, but like I don't expect them to come out and after I feel like it's a little bit of embarrassment, losing to Chicago by almost 20, and then the whole quarterback thing. So I
Yeah,
think they
like
come out.
I should pick the Jets. Like I want to, but it's also I think the Jets. Everyone's feeling the Jets right now, and they're
That's
still the Jets. I don't think the Jets are 5-2 good still, especially with losing Brees Hall. I think and the line's still shaky. So and Zach Wilson too. A game they should win. I think Belichick is gonna prepare his butt off and then get it done.
Exactly. Pittsburgh, Philadelphia. I'm gonna make quick. I'm just gonna go Philly. It really isn't much to even explain. I think it's just Philly should take this one at home. I think I won't actually know. It's probably a little bit explained. I won't count. And I don't know why the coach's name just slipped my mind. What's his name? No. Pittsburgh. Omar.
Omar Epps.
Yeah, Omar Epps. Never count him out. He always has his guys prepared. Obviously they haven't been able to really do much of anything. Najee Harris hasn't been able to do anything. Their quarterback situation kind of sucks for them because they do have talented receivers, but they've been in a lot of games that they played this year. But at home, Philly, they're rolling. Just made a good trade. I think it could be a bloodbath, but they can also be very much in the game as well. But I'm gonna go Philly.
Actually, I'm gonna go Philly in a close one, man. I think that Pittsburgh, I don't know, man. Like Mike Tomlin's always gonna have his guys ready to play as bad as the record is. I don't know, man. I think it's gonna be a close one. I think they should have won the game last week. I will say that if their defense capitalized on some of the bad throws the Tua had, but it's a PA versus PA game. Philly versus Pittsburgh. It's tough, man. I'm just waiting for the Eagles to slip up. I think they're good, but they're not the best team in the league. I don't think at all. I think it's either the Chiefs or Buffalo at the moment. Yeah. And I'm just waiting for them to slip up. This could be one of those games. I don't think they'll sleep on Pittsburgh because they're always a tough out. But with the World Series going on in Philly, I don't know. The crowd's going to be crazy. I think Philly pulls it out, but it's going to be a close game. Kenny Pickett, he's turned the ball over, but I still have a little bit of hope in him. I see the upside and the potential. His arm's not the best, but with that receiving core they have, they're eventually going to be able to get it together. And I think they do need to do one thing. I don't like blaming coaches, but I think they need to move on from the offensive coordinator. Offense is really stale, and with the amount of weapons he has with Najee Harris, that backup running back, I forgot his name, but they keep giving him carries every week. He's not too bad. And then, you got Pickens, Claypool, and Deontay Johnson. I just think they need to be better on offense, and I think they need to change at the coordinator position. But I'm going to go Philly in a close one. I will go 31-24.
Yeah. I mean, Najee's averaging like what? Less than 3 point, almost below 3 yards a carry. Like it's kind of crazy. Like they got to figure it out. They got too much talent on offense to be this inept. But I think Philly's just a better team, and I hope they slip up, but I don't think it'll be this week. And so I think Philly takes care of it. Like I said, the energy they got, like I said, Philly's in the World Series. They won yesterday, so that energy, that crowd's going to be loud. I think they get a couple turnovers on Kenny Pickett, and they stifle the run game, and they come away with the dub.
Yep. Next, we got two matchups back to back that probably won't be the best, but Tennessee, Houston. Bright spot for Houston. Dameon Pierce is looking pretty good. He could possibly run away now with the Offensive Player of the Year for rookie.
Yeah, he probably got it now with Brees out.
Yeah, exactly. Tennessee, they're leading the division, AFC South. Not dominantly winning the division.
That division's
Everybody's
poverty, man.
Yeah,
that division's poverty. Our division's poverity.
Our division sucks. Y'all division is the next division that sucks. So it's definitely 1 and 2 right now on the show. But I'm gonna go Tennessee. They shouldn't lose. But again, it's probably going to be a bad game, bad matchup, in my opinion. Probably bad teams, but going to be a good game because the team's bad. If that makes
Texans
sense.
fight though, man. The Texans fight though. They've made a lot of games closer than what we thought they would be. So they fight. They got a few pieces away before they'll be all right.
Yeah,
they'll be all right. But I'm gonna go with a close game. I'm gonna go with a tie. I'm gonna go to tie. Both teams tie. Nah. I go Tennessee, close one. Like I said, Texans fight. They fight every week. They're in every game, but it'll be a close one. But I'm gonna go Tennessee.
Yeah, I'm going to Tennessee too. Divisional game, so it'll be close. But shout out to Mike Vrabel. That roster is not good. I wouldn't wish that on the Jaguars, but that roster is awful. I don't know how they're not 2-4, 2-5. They don't have any receivers that can really separate. Quarterback is average. Just a lot of average players, and Mike Vrabel's scheming it up. I don't know what he's doing over there, but he's in my top 3 for coach of the year so far. But I'm gonna go Tennessee in a close one. It's gonna be an ugly game. I will not be watching this game. I'll watch the highlights, but I'm not watching this.
This is bad for your eyes.
Definitely Sports Center. Watch the highlights if they even show it on Sports Center highlights. So
Red Zone will not be going to this game. Let's say that. Red Zone will not be going to this game.
Sorry, Walker. Washington, Indy, another one. Like I said, probably not going to be a good one at all. I mean, might be good only because Tyler Heineke. I'd rather watch him than Wentz, and then we don't know what we're going to get out of Sam Ehlinger. But what they done to my boy Matt up there, I'm not liking it at all. So hopefully it's a battle of the backup quarterbacks, and it's going to be a good one. It's going to be tough. In this situation, I always go with the home team. I'm going to just go with Indy. I still, they still got Darius Leonard. They still got, forgot the boy's name, Stephon Gilmore. Like, their defense is okay. I feel like they can, manage against a not so great Washington offense. Hopefully Sam Ehlinger just doesn't go out there and stink it up. So I'm going to go Indy.
I'm gonna be opposite of you for this one. I'm gonna go Washington. I thought they were gonna get blown out last week. It was 14-3, and they found a way to battle back. I know Chase Young's coming back pretty soon. If not this week, it's next week, I think. That front four is pretty good. I do hope that they trade us Deron Payne. If you guys, I saw they were shopping him. You can send him to Jacksonville because we could use a 3-tech or nose. But I'm gonna take Washington this game. Go with my guy Heineke. The Colts are okay, but I did not think Sam Ehlinger was ever going to step foot in the NFL locker room. So obviously he's made strides and he's better than what I thought he was going to be, but it's not going to be enough to get the dub. I'm going to go Washington in the close one. This will be another ugly one though, for sure.
It's going to be terrible.
They both suck. I don't care what their record said. They both suck.
The Colts are 3-3, man. Or what are they?
I don't know how. And they beat the Chiefs.
Yeah, let's say 3-3. Every time I feel like I watch them, they lose. It's like they're 3-3-1. I don't know how.
I don't know. I'm gonna go. Yeah. This is bad. Sam Ehlinger's first game. This is not gonna be a good ratings draw. Ehlinger versus Heineke ain't gonna get people to be watching this game. But I don't know. I'm gonna root for the Colts to win against the Commandos. I'm not even gonna call them by their real name. They're the Commandos. So I'm gonna go Colts win. Colts take care of business.
Colts take care of business. We already hit on the other two games, so we'll hit on our last two real quick. Green Bay, Buffalo. Got to go Buffalo at home. Green Bay, doo-doo, as Prez has been saying. They just don't look good at all. Got another meme out of Aaron. That's all I've been looking forward to each week. Getting another meme out of Aaron Rodgers.
I can't wait for him to cry again on McAfee show because it's like it's never his fault. Well, the wide receivers, they're not doing their job, or the offensive coordinator isn't. It's always never him. It's never I'm just take it on the chin. Like, you're supposed to as a leader do, but he likes pointing the blame at other people, and then he wonders why he never gets the love. He's like Kevin Durant. He's Kevin Durant, and I've always mentioned LeBron is Tom Brady, and Durant and Rodgers is Kevin Durant. Like, they're probably better, talent wise, but they just they always. That's who they are. Like, it's just always. I can't stand Aaron Rodgers.
He's Aaron Rodgers, but KD's a better person and better teammate. Like, I don't know. He's nowhere near as bad as Aaron though. I see the comp, but as a teammate, I feel like KD's he's gonna have your back. Aaron's not gonna have your back.
Aaron's not gonna have your back.
Aaron's not gonna have your back at all. He'll throw you under the bus and be and his play hasn't been good. He's definitely not as. It's definitely they got a young receiving core, but he's not playing the way he's supposed to play too. He blames the coordinators. He'll blame everything else but him. But
but they will. I'm going Buffalo, but they will cover the spread. That spread is disrespectful, isn't it? 14 or 10.
That's wild.
I think he's going to come out and play a little bit inspired. They're still going to lose, but it's going to be a good game. And I will be this Sunday night game. I was going to watch anyway, but I'll definitely watch this game. But I'm going Buffalo there. Buffalo is just Buffalo right now. A very good football team.
Buffalo's a juggernaut right now. Yeah, Buffalo. I think they cover too. It's 11. I think Buffalo covers. I think they take care. I know their defense is kind of a little banged up, but they got that quarterback. He's special. So they should. I think they cover and take care of business at home. That play gonna be loud. It's gonna be loud in Buffalo. So Buffalo takes care of business
for sure. And then wrap it all up. Cincy, Cleveland. I'm gonna go with Cincy on this one. Even with Jamar out, I think they still have two capable 1 and 2s and Boyd and Higgins, and obviously Mixon's going to be in the mix as well. Maybe they needed that pick me up game last week against us. Their offense start the roll. Maybe they start the roll from here on out. Cleveland, you just obviously we're kind of just waiting for Deshaun to come back now. They have rumblings of Kareem Hunt getting traded. They're going to trade a few pieces on maybe on their defense as well. So, they've been okay, but just haven't been up to par as what we thought. So I'm going to go with Cincy in this one with NFC North divisional battle. And I think, like I said, Cincy starts to get rolling a little bit from here.
I'm going to try to catch up in the pick 'em. I don't know exactly where we're at, but I'm going to go Cleveland. They've been in almost every single game. They're kind of like the Jags and the Giants in a way. They have a really good roster, in my opinion.
Yeah, they do.
They just had a little bit better quarterback play. Jacoby's not too terrible, but he makes a couple throws to show you why he's like not a full-time starter.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go Cleveland in a close one. I don't know. I've never seen Joe Burrow without Jamar Chase besides his rookie year. I'm not saying he's gonna fall off, but he looks to him a lot. He's their number one. They have Boyd and Higgins, but I don't know. I think Cleveland has a good enough roster to try to take away Higgins or Boyd and try to, just make Joe Burrow struggle. And Joe Mixon's he's been okay this year, but the ground game hasn't been nearly as
he hasn't been as explosive,
I'm gonna go Cleveland in the upset pick. Like they're a couple plays away from being 5-2 or 4-3 or 6-1. So I think they pull this one out on Monday Night Football.
Yeah, I'm going with Cleveland too. I think the loss of Jamar is going to be huge. Like you said, Cincinnati doesn't have a run game. Joe Mixon's averaging less than almost at 3 yards a carry, and that's not good.
He's struggling.
One of the worst rushing teams in the league. So and Cleveland can run the ball, and I think that's going to be the game plan is just be able to run the ball with those two. They still got Kareem Hunt, so they'll be able. They got two-headed monsters still, and I think Cleveland at home, primetime game. I think Cleveland wins, and like I said, Cleveland's been in most games. Like it could be easily the record could be flip-flop. So they've been in a lot of close games. Like I said, they're kind of like the Giants in a way, just record-wise is the opposite. So I think they'd be able to establish the run. I think Cleveland gets this one because, like I said, what is Joe Burrow without Chase? We haven't really seen that, and
the offensive line still isn't.
An offensive line is what it is too,
and they still got Myles Garrett they got to worry about.
And like I said, no run game. Like Mixon is he ain't getting nothing done this year.
They do involve him in the pass game, though. I will say that. Like it's not like he's completely fallen off. The run game just hasn't really been there.
The run game has been abysmal, so they gotta have to get him. He's going to be he's got to be effective in the pass game out of the backfield. But I think Cleveland gets it done. I think they get it done.
Yeah. All right, and that does it for our pick'ems. Like I said, I forgot to put up the graphic. I think I came back. I might be up about 2 or 3 games, but regardless, next week we'll have it posted and showing what we're at half of the year. But definitely want to thank you, Prez, for hopping on. Obviously, of course, thank you, Thad, for another that Saturday morning show. We always typically end out the day or show with what grinds my gears. Just anything, it ain't got to be sport related sometimes. Just a little, way to relieve a little bit of pressure. Prez, I'll give you the floor. If you had anything, what kind of grinds your gears for the week?
What grinds my gears? When the Knicks lose and spaces go crazy.
Bruh.
Even Dad had to go. I was in a space and when I saw Dad and Mo and guys who don't even like care for the Knicks, it's so. You would have thought, guys, that we just lost Game 7 of the NBA Finals. We lost on the road to the Bucks, like in a regular season, and you would have it was in Dad. You heard that space, and that's how it is, right? That's just not that's just one space. No, that's. Every space is wild. It is crazy. It's Game 5. We just won 3 in a row. Then that's the thing. We get so high with the W's, Like, and let's be real, we didn't beat anyone a significant, right? We didn't beat it, and we barely beat Charlotte, who had everyone hurt, and then Charlotte gets annihilated by the Magic yesterday.
Yeah, we just beat them for I think our first dub.
Yeah, and they got their first win, so it's like that's what grinds me because it's funny though. It annoys me, but yet it's entertaining. And I don't think there's another team, another sports team, not even just a sports team, that when they lose hard. Like Knicks fans. Like it's bad. Like it's a game 5 of the regular season, and it's just that's what grinds my gears. Is like
it got 77 more.
We got 77 more games to go, guys. Like let's relax. Let's relax. But the highs are so high and the lows are so low. There's no in between. There's no like, it's game 5, guys. I wish we would have won, but we played against Giannis and he did Giannis things. Like instead of just it's just like a civil war after game 5. It's wild. That just it's hysterical, but that's the grind. I'm like, it's gonna be bad. This space, and everyone knows it too. Everyone says they don't say like, oh man, we should have played better defense. Like, oh no, the spaces are gonna be crazy. It's gonna be crazy, and Dad saw that, experienced that. Like, there's no fan base like the Knicks fan.
We'll be tuned into after game.
I don't know if Hawks. I'm sure Hawks. Y'all
they have spaces too, but
spaces that get in, but not like the Knicks.
Yeah.
Real quick before I say mine, like I was in the chat looking and I saw Edgar talking, but he's always talking about Knicks or Knicks spaces, but I'm like. When the comments he was saying about it, I'm like, let me go check this out. And the first thing I'm hearing, like, you know where I stay at. You're not gonna pull up on me. And then they're talking about the dude who was yelling was 5'2". Like I was just laughing.
Yeah. Julito.
It was bad. And then you had the people come in after, like he was like, "What's wrong with y'all, man? Like I expect better out of both of y'all too." It was just
as if that's like a dad, like being disappointed.
He was disappointed
in his kids. It's game 5, and we talking reckless, like crazy. It's
pulling up the fight over a loss to the league, right?
Where we lost to the Bucks, the undefeated Bucks, right? To be honest, with the best player in the league. We're mad, It's crazy, bro.
But I would say what grinds my gears. This is my first time ever talking negative about this person. I'm gonna say Russell Wilson at this point. I feel like he's going kind of Hollywood. Like I've heard stuff about he has his own office. The stories about you have to go through his agent to contact him. I understand that with a fan or somebody that's not in the league, but your own teammates, they can't have your personal cell phone number.
He's
just going Hollywood. I mean, I know part of that has to do with Sierra, his beautiful wife, but he's going Hollywood and his plays just dipped. Just a little disappointing. And I wish he would just change it up, show some fire, like everything after you lose or you go 16 for 40, let's ride. Or
you can't be
positive. We're gonna get him next time. Like I just want to see a little fire. And it just
corny, man. He's
his attitude it's kind of getting annoying. I think he's a really good player, and I like his positivity and his faith, but got to show a little bit of fire. It's kind of getting annoying. And as a Bronco fan, man, I'd be hot. Like, I don't think he robbed them, but if he doesn't start playing better soon, they're gonna be set back for years to come.
Yeah, but you know what? It's overall, if you're outside looking in and you're not a football fan, you like his positivity, right? Because that's overall that's good that he's a positive human being. He has his faith and all that. But as a football player, and like I said, we all been football players. Like we all seen this. We all been in locker room. Like that will be like, yo, why is he so goofy? Like that can actually rub a team the wrong way. And you hear like I said, I hear people like that don't watch football. They're like, oh, he's so cool, he's so nice, he's such a fan. Yes, that's good, that's great. But we were talking football in the locker room. I can understand why teammates are like, stop, bro.
Yeah.
Like, you're doing too much. You're doing
he's on the plane, like,
yeah.
Bro,
like all this, those TikToks where he's positive. Like, come on now, bro. Stop it. You're just doing too much, especially when you're losing.
Exactly.
That's gonna irk you even more. That's gonna grind your gears even more. Like, so like he's just doing too much corny stuff. Like it was cool when he was winning and getting to the Super Bowl and all that. But like as we've seen, like as his end of the tenure with Seattle and now with Denver, like we're like, oh, okay. People are finally real. Okay, that stuff is. I could see why people are.
we used to be like wondering why like everybody, all the Seattle, like the Legion of Boom, everybody just wasn't rocking with him. Like none of the receivers really.
Now we know why, because it's like, yo, he's just he's
I didn't see this coming though. Like even I could see Sherman and the ones that he think he cost him the Super Bowl, but you got what's his name, Doug Baldwin, another receiver we used to play with. I'm like, dang,
that's what really started when Doug Baldwin. I'm like, dang, we hearing stuff from Doug Baldwin not liking him.
He kind of made Doug Baldwin.
Made
Doug
him,
Baldwin
they were in the same draft class, no? That draft class that hit with them were they the same class?
I think so, but he was undrafted, wasn't he?
No, was he? He may have been, or a late pick.
Late pick,
but he's just super. He's goofy right now, and it's just that rubs the team the wrong way though. When you too nice, you can't be too nice in football.
Yeah,
you can't be too nice,
especially not losing. Like,
especially when you're losing,
and you just got paid. Like,
you got $250 million, all the draft picks and all that. Now Seattle's like, you know what? We should try to win because who cares about our pick? Denver's losing. So let's try to win actually. So let's build that culture, and then we still get a top 5 pick if they keep sucking. Oh, that's a win. That's a win for Seattle.
Win. They looking glorious right now. But mine is just Halloween stores. Obviously, I know there's a purpose for them. They're only here for a month, but to be charging $60 for a Halloween costume, that's like
insane. Even for little kids, I got little ones. My daughter's 3. It's like $40 for
$40.
That you're gonna wear for a couple hours.
Couple hours, bro. And then it's a new one next year. Like it's crazy. Like going in there. There's one by my house. Went in there $60 for Chucky costume. $60 for like just basic stuff I can probably find from Goodwill. But they know that they could take advantage of you because you ain't finna go try to find it and put all that together. So that's my thing. And then like they don't let you do, obviously not return, but like I went in there try to exchange like a little. I think I got a patch and I just need the tie instead. They're like, nah, our exchange is ended yesterday. Like, bro, come on, it's right there. It's a damn near the same price. Let me exchange it. So Halloween stores just taking advantage, and then they want to put up on posters 50% off the next day. Like, come on now. Like it should be. It could be leading up, like at least the day of. All right, let me if I need to find a last minute costume, day of. But Halloween stores, like just running people's pockets. They got me yesterday, but it's all right. It's whatever.
It's a scam, bro.
Yeah,
it's a scam, bro. That's why you just paint your face. That's it. Boom. wear a curtain and just be like you're weirdo man or whatever. Yeah. Just you gotta win and all that. Like
exactly. But definitely was a great show. I appreciate you fellas, of course, for hopping on. Before we get out of here, definitely got to show love to our sponsors, of course. First one I want to do SeatGeek, $20 off for first time users. Definitely go over and use Off the Ball network for the code. You get $20 off your first first ever time user, your first whatever. If you've been a fan of the NFL, we got NFL games coming up. Obviously, see you Sunday. Go ahead and I'm sure Washington Commanders versus the Indianapolis Colts tickets aren't very much right now, so you might be able to get in there for free with this code.
Just go to the security, man. They'll be like, I'm on the team, man. You good?
I'm lining up. I'm what's his name? Alec Pierce. They may not even know the difference between you and Alec Pierce. So go ahead and get you your $20 off your first time ticket. And then of course, want to do FanDuel match first deposit up to $1,000. Obviously, part of the show we're supposed to put in some plays today. I know Thad and you, Chris, both y'all slid in some that you probably you like. But definitely go over to FanDuel first time users as well. First deposit match to $1,000. So definitely bet today. We got obviously a slate of NFL games. So go ahead and throw some money at a parlay. See what your luck's like this week. I know my luck has been very bad these past.
I've been on a cold streak, man, and I need some money. So
there's one team that's just messing me up every week. So I done took a week or two off, but y'all go out there. Y'all can throw some money in. I'll be back up with y'all next week.
Yeah, man. College football be messing me up too. So
I stay away from that. I
don't do college football.
Strictly NFL.
Strictly NFL. College is too much of an anomaly, and it'd be making me so mad. So I'm strictly NFL with it. But
and my college teams stink. I mean, all our teams kind of stink.
Yeah.
But at least we stole a recruit from Florida, so that's always positive.
Yeah, no, we're losing recruits left and right. Like I don't know what we're finna be at all, but. Like I said, I told Thad at the beginning of the show, I've stopped watching games since we lost to Kentucky the way we lost, and I watched a little bit of Tennessee I haven't watched the game since then. I already
Well,
know
we lost to a team from Tennessee, just not that Tennessee.
that
team.
Tennessee. Yeah,
We lost to a team in the middle of Tennessee. We lost to a middle Tennessee.
man, we all got some bad losses under our belt. We finna get blown out today too, but appreciate it. Like I said before, we do head out that or not that. Prez, you want to obviously drop your socials. Of course, we're on one of them right now, Off the Ball Network. Again, definitely check out everybody's work from Off the Ball Network. I'm sure after today's battle, Jeff and Mo will be on talking their Buckeyes. Maybe tomorrow, maybe Monday.
Jeff beat Jeff was mad that they beat Iowa 54-10, and you would have thought they snuck a win by a field goal in double overtime. I'm like, Jeff, I wish I could be mad at my team for winning. I just want to win my team. I just want my team to win a game, let alone win 54-10.
He'd be absolutely
he was mad in the first quarter that they were up for it. They could kick a field goals and it's the first quarter, Jeff. You up 10-0.
He just scored, so he probably put the baby down.
No, baby down.
He said something a minute ago. He said, so are y'all sure I'm overreacting? Like he already.
Yeah, he's spoiled, man. He's spoiled.
He's hilarious, bro. But like I said, definitely appreciate everybody for coming on today. Like I said, check out everybody's shows and work over at offtheballnetwork.com. Definitely check us out. I know Mo said he's doing NBA show this upcoming Sunday. Obviously, if you didn't get to catch us live, watch the run back on YouTube and on Off the Ball Network on socials on Facebook and Twitter. And yeah, man, obviously what the game means to me, follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, all the same hashtags as well. So, or all the same at names as well. So appreciate y'all fellas for riding with us today. See you Sunday. It was a good one, and we'll be back next week for sure. Hope y'all have a good one. Everybody stay safe. Hopefully we'll get some wins today for our teams. And we'll see y'all next time. Have a good one.
Peace out.